Welcome to So You Really Want to Learn Latin. My name's Nicholas Oulton and I'm going to be your guide for the next few months and perhaps years as we go through a 3-part Latin course to get you from absolutely zero, from scratch, up to the point at which you can be translating the great works of literature of Ovid, Virgil, Horace, and so on. That is quite an ambitious claim. I think it can be done. It's not easy. Latin is not an easy language. A lot of people say it's not for the faint-hearted. I love it. And I know it can be done because I'm not the brainiest person on the planet, but if I can do it, you can do it. In this course, we're going to be learning Latin. Principally, we're going to learn Latin so that we can read it and write it. Obviously, it's not a modern language. There is no real need to speak it. Having said that, the Romans, when they wrote their literature, it was very much written to be heard out loud. So some idea of what it sounded like is important. We're going to learn grammar. To learn Latin, you really have to understand the workings of grammar. Grammar and something scary called syntax. English grammar was for hundreds of years based very, very closely on Latin grammar. Educated people hundreds of years ago learnt Latin and Greek, and then that was the basis of their education. You would hear people say, oh yes, he had a classical education. And that was a compliment. It meant he had been well educated. So an understanding of Latin grammar is going to require you to understand English grammar. But don't worry, I've got a course, an introductory grammar course that will help you with that. We're also going to learn a little bit about the Romans themselves. There's a great comic history of the Romans, which I read years and years ago when I was first devising this course. The book has come to grief, which is sad, but it's the sort of thing you can find on Abe Books or something, the comic history of Rome. I absolutely loved this when I was beginning my teaching of Latin. It's full of the most ridiculous little cartoons like that. And it's got a humorous history of Rome from the earliest times, which I can talk you through just to lighten the load occasionally. So we're going to have a series of videos, some on grammar, some on pronunciation, lots on Latin, and there are going to be lots of practice exercises as well. If I'm honest, the best way to handle this whole approach to learning Latin would be to buy the books. The book comes with all the Latin you're going to learn on the left-hand pages, and the practice exercises happen on the right-hand pages. And you can get the answers to those exercises as a PDF download or as an answer book. I always find it's really helpful if you're working through the book to do the exercises without any access to the answers. You can write it in a notebook or write it on a piece of paper and then check that you're getting the answers right by checking from the answer book. We'll put a link in the description box below as to how you get the books and how you get the answers. Essentially, we are beginning this wonderful journey through this beautiful language, and we're going to take it from scratch all the way to the tippy top so that we're reading Virgil and Horace by the end of the course. Hope you enjoy it. Hope to see you later.